so much, everyone, for being here today. I know I keep saying good morning. I am in Dallas, Texas, and it is morning here. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm excited to be here. So, before I start, I like to set a few expectations, and we're gonna have some fun today. The first thing is goals. Our goal for this session specifically is for us to leave here knowing how to navigate and have a better understanding of the relationships that we have. The next goal is for us to be receptive. Anytime I get on the stage, where it's in this virtual space or it's in a space of on person, it's that the words I say fall on open mind, hearts, and ears. The next is active participation. No, we're not in person, and I can't call you on stage with me. But what we can do is use our chat. So I'm gonna be asking a few questions, and I want you to take your little fingers and just use that chat. And then the next thing is the commitment to grow, the commitment to yourself to continue to grow. But the most importantly, the commitment on this journey that we call life. And then my last and my favorite one, which I'm sure you can see from the time that I've been here, is enthusiasm. Be enthusiastic about the vision and the calling that's on your life. Be enthusiastic about going forth with the confidence in all that He has given you. And if you have wrote those down, you would see that says grace. In this life, we need to have grace for ourselves and have grace for others. Okay, so can we agree to all those? Type that in the chat, yes or no. Can we agree? Yes. Okay, I see it. So I'm gonna ask a few questions, and I want you to type yes or no in the chat. The first one, do you deal with accomplishing a mission with imperfect people? Do you need to establish a clear sense of purpose? I'm saying in the chat, do you need help with the selection and recruitment with people to help carry on the work? Is there fierce competition in your market? Yes or no? Type it in the chat. Are you under constant scrutiny, maybe by even friends and family? Are you effective at handling criticism or rejection or even opposition? Do you experience pain and suffering for just trying to do the greatest good? Well, there's good news. I know a man who accomplished all of these things, and he's the greatest that ever stood. His name is Jesus. So when we think about relationships, it's three levels. It's a song that says it's levels to this. It's a quote that says it's levels to this. And it's levels to each and everything that we do. Just as with our relationships, it's levels to our relationships. The first level is when we get into relationships, we need to partner with people that have gone before us. These are people that have the wisdom, they have the experience, they have a lot of times the bandwidth, and sometimes they are a tad bit more patient with us as we are on this journey of life and trying to figure it out. It's a quote that I love, and that quote says, "You think you can make all the mistakes in the world and not think that I'll fix it?" And then it says, "God," at the end. He loves us so much that we cannot make all the mistakes in the world. That's why we have people that we partner with that go before us to provide us with wisdom and wise counsel along this journey that we call life. The second level of people is the people that we are shoulder to shoulder with. These are people that are in the trenches with us. These are people that are side by side with us. They could be in a different industry, they could be in a different field, but we're on the same path trying to build and become all who we were created to be. We're trying to discover our gifts. We're trying to discover our talents. We're just trying to figure this thing out called life. Because let's be honest, life has thrown us some curveballs. If you haven't gotten a curveball yet, as my mom would say, or as my grandmother would say, keep on living. And I'm sure 2020 has gave us a few curveballs that we just were not expecting. We're having to duck and dodge and dip and everything. So you need some people that are shoulder to shoulder with you, that are able to stand with you, and that are able to build with you. And then my next level of people, these are kind of my favorite group of people. These are the people that you go back and get. You go back and get them through mentoring. You go back and get them through advocating for them. You go back and get them through providing internships experiences for them. You go back and get them and teach them everything it is that you need, that they need to know. You become that number one person for that person that you're going back and get. Now, when you think about people, the people like that we go back and get, sometimes it's through mentoring, but other times it can be through clients, through people that we're serving. And there are different ways to serve. But when you think about all three levels, at the heart of it all, at the curve of it all, it is serving. It is serving, the heart to serve. So we serve others, we serve ourselves and our community, and then we serve those in our areas of influence. Now, when you think about relationships, it can be crazy. I've had a few crazy ones myself. I'm not going to tell completely on myself, but relationships can be crazy, but they are meant to be beautiful. They are beautiful. There are partnerships and it's growth. And when I think about the trend in my most and my best, and even sometimes my worst relationships, it requires me to do three things. Accountability. You have to be open to accountability. You have to be open to accountability. You have to be open to allow people to correct you and correct you in love. Remember when we talked about earlier when I was spelling out grace, the second one was receptive. Be receptive for it. Now, everything that is said to you is not meant for you, and there has to be a level of discernment there. And what I mean when I say that is someone could be in a season of pain and they're projecting that pain on you, and they want you to experience whatever it is they experience. I'm not talking about that accountability. I'm talking about being able to discern the right accountability, people that will hold you accountable. People will hold you accountable to your goals, your mission, everything that you're doing. People will say, hey, how are you working on the book that you say you were going to publish? How many words have you have? How many chapters do you have? How many this do you have? So the people that will hold you accountable to your mission, the vision, and everything it is that you're supposed to be doing. Hold them accountable, hold yourself accountable and hold them accountable. So the first thing is accountability. That's the first thing. The second thing you want is, we talked about this, community. We are not meant to go at life alone. We're not meant to go at life alone. And I'm going to give you the perfect example. The Messiah had 12. He had 12, and then he knew which one would betray him. So I'm not telling you to get 12, but I'm just saying get a community of people, because in community is where you find what? Accountability. So get your community. And there are different stages of community. I have a church community. I have a life community. I have a community of friends. I have a community of family. That have a community as far as the work that I do in my profession. So there is a level of community that you need in order to succeed. You need it. We thrive best in community. We are not meant to go at life alone. We are not meant to go at life alone. You don't want to be building and grinding and only to accomplish everything you have, only to realize that I have no one to share it with. I have no one to pray with this for me. So you want that community. It's so important and it's so vital to our growth, our development, and everything that we're striving to do. Your community is what brings out the stuff that's in you. So the stuff that in you that need to get out of you, your community helps develop that. They create safe spaces for you to talk through those things. So you want that. You really want that. That's probably my one of my favorite ones. I'm not going to say my favorite. That's probably one of my favorite ones. And then my last one is transparency. Open, honest, commitment, transparency. Being transparent with who you are, the things that you're struggling with. Being transparent is so important because this is the thing. God and people cannot bless who you pretend to be. God and people can only bless who you really are. So being honest, being transparent, and being honest and transparent in love. In love. Do it from a place of love, not a place of competition, not a place of comparison. Do it from a place of love. Be honest, be open, be humble. And when you think about those things, it spells act. At the core of your relationships, at the core of your community, it requires you to act. It requires you to execute. It requires you to bring forth the vision that you're supposed to be carrying. It requires you to build. It requires you to create. But community and relationships, it requires you to act on that one thing that God has called and created and crowned you to be. Thank you so much for my time. My name is Tierra Jackson. I'm the visionary and founder of King's Kid, where we educate individuals on how God creates, purpose, carries, and crowns us. In essence, Dr. Dre dropped beats and I dropped jewels of knowledge and wisdom. Thank you so much.